Hi everyone, I'm Shawna Jordan. Welcome to The Hungry Soul. On today's episode, we're going to roast pumpkins and we're going to make pumpkin puree so we can do some baking. There's no need to go over our ingredient list because the only ingredient is pumpkin, so let's get started. Alright, this is really super simple. First thing we're going to do is we're going to break off the stem. Sometimes they pop off really easy, sometimes it takes all your might, you never know. I've been experimenting with how to cut them and I started cutting them horizontally. And it works fine if that's how you choose to do it, but when I started cutting them lengthwise, I found that it was easier to scoop the guts out and clean them out. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it lengthwise. Sometimes these are really tough, sometimes they cut easy. Be really careful. I like to use a cleaver, and so I just sort of wedge it in the top, and once you get it in there, just kind of give it a hit there and work it through. That wasn't too bad. And then we're just going to take our bowl and clean out the seeds, and you want to scrape it down pretty close. Don't leave any flesh in there or anything stringy. A lot easier than cleaning out a big pumpkin. And you know, we're not going to put anything on these because we don't want to change the flavor of them at all, because I'm going to use these in pumpkin bars and I'm going to make a pumpkin pie. Okay. So that's probably good. You can see how well cleaned out it is. And then I'm going to go ahead and finish these, and we're just going to place them on a cookie sheet like this on parchment paper upside down. We're going to put them in a 400-degree oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. When my timer goes off, I'm just going to kind of give them a little poke like that, and if it dents right in and it's soft, then I know they're done. You can also like stick a knife in there, and if it just goes in really easily, you know it's done. So that's really all there is to it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these pumpkins, get them in the oven, and I'll see you in about 30 minutes. Okay, so our pumpkin is all done. You can see it's kind of wrinkly. You know for sure it's done then. You can just see the skin pulling away. They were all different sizes, so you know, the ones that are bigger maybe aren't quite as done, but when I push, I can see that they're done enough. So the first thing we're going to do is they're still just a little bit warm, so I'm going to put on an oven glove here. You can let them cool all the way or use a mitt of any kind. And so you can just see it's nice and cooked and steamy there. And if you grab the edge of the peel, it'll actually just peel right off of there. Some are easier than others, like this one's a bigger one. It didn't cook quite the same as, say, like this small one where you grab it and it'll just sort of peel right out of there into the bowl. So you can use a spoon, get as much flesh out of there as you can. And I'm going to go ahead and get these all cleaned out, and when we're done, we'll go ahead and puree them. Alright, so our pumpkin is all cleaned out of the shells here, so we're going to go ahead and start processing it and pureeing it in the food processor. I have a little pitcher of water here because every pumpkin's different. Some are moister than others, and sometimes you need to add a little bit of water to get it moving and to get it to a nice consistency. So I'm just going to go ahead and scoop some in here. You do not want to overwhelm your food processor, so just do small batches. Okay, that's probably good for the first one. I'm guessing maybe a little bit. That's probably like about 2 cups. So before I add any water, I'm going to go ahead and pulse it. And by the way, this is like semi-cool. You can see it's still steaming, but it's cool enough that I can touch it with my hand. If you can't touch it with your hand, don't put it in your plastic food processor. Alright, so. Alright, gonna pulse that. Let it run, I guess. And once you can see that it's all incorporating and smooth, go ahead and stop and take a peek. I'm just gonna grab another spoon here. And you see how it's just a nice puree. That's all you have to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this out, put it in a bowl, start another batch. And I'm gonna keep doing that until I finish. And that's really all it takes to make pumpkin puree. Okay, so I finished pureeing all the pumpkin, and look how much we have. There's a ton of it. We used 3 small sugar pumpkins, and there is at least 4 16-ounce jars of pumpkin in here. So much healthier than canned pumpkin. Definitely a better way to go. I'm going to use this in a few recipes today, but I'm going to have a lot left over. So what I like to do when that happens is I put about a cup in a Ziploc freezer bag, and I close it and push it flat, and then I'll stack them in the freezer. So when you're doing a recipe, you know you have a cup in each bag to grab. Thaw it before you use it, of course, but it's so much better than using a canned product. So it tastes wonderful, even plain. There's so many things you can make with it. You can do ravioli, desserts. I mean, the sky's the limit. I would love to hear if you have some creative pumpkin recipes. Please put it in the comment section. I hope that you'll go ahead and do this, and I hope you enjoy it when you do, and I thank you for joining me today. I hope you live, love, and cook with passion, my friends.